But today we have a special person here, inspirational to many women, to me, inspirational, and gave me hope when I was searching for answers, when I was looking what to do with my life at some point in my health. And Tara Hopko, her Instagram account is at tiny_tower. She is a breast implant illness survivor, because this is how I call us. We are survivors, and we have a struggle a lot for so many years. And Tara has been there, done that. She explanted her breast implants, and she didn't only do that. She has been an advocate for breast implant illness since then, and she even wrote a book. At this point, we're doing all these live series, guys. It's just to bring awareness and mindfulness to all women in the world who have and who have not breast implants. Why the ones who have not breast implants? Because there are many women who are considering breast implants, and there are many women who are considering putting their kids breast implants when they turn 16 or 18 years old. So both of us, Tara and myself, have had breast implants, have gone through very difficult life situations, and Tara is here to tell us what she experienced, what symptoms she had, and what were the consequences of putting into her body a foreign object. So welcome, Tara.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm sure everybody here is very, very happy to have you and to learn a little bit more about your story, and to learn about you and all this process, because I have had so many people texting me, sending me private message to tell them what I felt, what happened, tell us the symptoms. But it's important to know that each person is different, and as there are many women who don't experience any issues with their breast implants, there are tons who have experienced and who are experiencing many issues with their breast implants. So yes. Tara, tell us a little bit about it. When did you first got your breast implants, and why? What made you have them put in? What was the first reason why Tara Hopko said, I want to go get them?
So I got my breast implants in 2015. It was April of 2015. I had just come off of doing a lot of bodybuilding competitions. I was a figure competitor.
Okay.
And I did about 6 competitions in 2 years. I really loved the training, but it definitely took a toll on my body, and decreasing your body fat decreased the amount of breast tissue that you had, and I didn't have a lot to begin with.
Yeah.
So it left me with pretty much none. And I would say that, you know, I wanted to feel more like a woman.
Yeah.
And so it was something that I thought about a lot before doing. And it was something that my husband and I talked about, and we both felt that, you know, we had done our research. We looked into, you know, the best type of implants, the best doctors, and, you know, they sell you on these words, the gummy bear implants. They're the safest. They're the new kind. You know, you could run them over with a car and they would be perfectly intact. And so we fell for it. And I found a surgeon and I got them put in, and they were beautiful.
Yes.
They were exactly what I wanted. I went from a small A to a large C, and they just kind of fit my figure, and they just, you know, kind of filled everything out, which was nice. So he gave me exactly what I wanted, but I would say that I noticed things right away. Looking back now, I noticed things right away, and even my husband looking back, I knew someone who had had a breast augmentation at the same time as myself.
Okay.
And what we noticed is that I took a very long time to recover from surgery. And I was just tired. I was tired all the time. And I kept thinking, I kept justifying it in my head. I would say, oh, well, it's just the anesthesia. I just don't do well with anesthesia. And it was days. It was days that I was on the couch. I was totally incoherent. And he had to take care of me. So, you know, now looking back, it wasn't normal. You know, the other girl who had had the augmentation at the same time, she was off and living life, you know, 3 days later, she was perfectly fine. So I just thought it was the difference between her body and my body.
Yeah.
But also 3 days after my surgery, I noticed that I started to have some acne on my chin. And I thought, you know, I justified that in my head with, you know, maybe they had a mask on me during surgery and that was just from that. So little by little things started to happen right away, but I was justifying everything.
Yeah.
And I think I justified for the whole 3 years I had the implants. But I definitely, looking back, I started noticing things immediately after my surgery. My body did not like the implants right away, and it was trying to tell me, but I didn't understand yet.
Got you. So basically, after 3 years, you start noticing all these symptoms that start coming into your body, and then you just don't feel well. You feel something is wrong. So what did you start doing? You start going to doctors?
So I would say, you know, the first year I was okay and I kind of enjoyed the implants. But then things started to slowly, you know, add up in my body. Like I just was not well. Again, like I said, the fatigue, the acne started to, you know, become a problem. And I was urinating all the time. And I thought that I had become diabetic from doing the bodybuilding, because when I was bodybuilding, I was just, you know, decreased calories, eating lots of, you know, fish and asparagus. And I
Yeah.
just thought, you know, I had really maybe, you know, kind of ruined my metabolism that way. So I had gone to an endocrinologist within the first year, and he did all the blood work and he said, "You're perfectly fine. There's no sign of anything. So just go live your life." And I said, "But that doesn't answer the question why I'm going to the bathroom all the time. I just peed all the time."
Yeah.
So he had no answers for me, and I left. And I thought, all right, well, he says I'm okay, so I guess I'm okay. And then I would say probably around year two was the chronic fatigue, where I would come home from work and I was completely exhausted. I had just started a new job and I was working more hours and I couldn't keep up with the schedule. It was to the point where it was pure exhaustion. You know, I have two young girls and they would wake me up because I'd be asleep on the couch and they'd say, "Mom, you need to tuck us in." So I would be asleep before them, and my husband worked nights, so it was just the girls and I at the time. And that was really bad. And then and the acne progressively also got worse. And then by year, I would say, yeah, there were so many symptoms, and I hate this because every time I start talking about it, I
Yeah.
keep forgetting all of the symptoms because they just
Too much.
totally add up,
Yeah,
right?
it's too many. It's too many symptoms.
it's
Yeah, like
it's too
literally,
many.
so many. Like,
It
do you
is.
have night sweats? Do you have night sweats?
That was one thing I never had.
Okay.
I never had night sweats, and I never had insomnia. I actually
Okay.
slept like a dead person, I would say, you
Okay.
know, but I would wake up from my sleep and I would be completely exhausted. I felt like I hadn't
Yeah.
slept at all.
Like
And that
unrefreshed sleep.
was, no, nothing like, it was
Okay.
crazy.
Okay.
Um, and then I would say that, you know, I think that a lot of times when our bodies are fighting these implants and we're having this immune response, a lot of times you have like a stressful situation where, you know, maybe there's a marital problem or there's a family issue or, you know, a health crisis of your own, or even sometimes women are pregnant and something triggers your
Yeah.
body to where it just can't fight anymore.
Correct.
And that's basically what happened to me. And so I had I like to call him a chosen family member. He was somebody that wasn't blood family, but like family.
Okay.
And I was responsible for his medical decisions. And
Wow.
ultimately, we ended up losing him. And it was a very difficult time in my life. And I think my body at that point just couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I really started to go downhill from there. Now, at this point, I was at night having to put ice packs on my face because I was in so much pain. And I
Wow.
had been to several dermatologists and they did tests for me. They said that I had staph on my face. And, you know, that was what was coming out of the blemishes. And they couldn't tell me why. They just said it was adult acne, but no one, you know, anything I would try, it would work for a little bit and then it would stop working.
Just not, they wouldn't find the root of why. you would
Right.
have something like that. And they will, what type of medications they were giving you?
Oh, I had all kinds of cyclins, you know, antibiotic, doxycycline,
Oh my God.
tetracycline,
Right.
all kinds of antibiotics, which didn't help the fact that I was already having severe gut issues. That was
Yes.
another huge issue for me. We can get very real on Instagram here and let you know that I never had a normal bowel movement.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we're here, because we need to let
Yeah.
them know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, you know, your poop says a lot about your health.
Yes,
And
a lot.
I have a good friend who's a nurse, and we would spend time together, and she would say, "You have got to get to the GI doctor." She said, this is not right. This is not normal." I was nauseous after I ate all the time, and I just would go to the bathroom. So like nothing stayed in me. It was crazy.
Wow.
And she would say, "This is not normal." And I'd say, "I don't want to see a GI doctor. I see too many doctors all the time. I'm always at the doctor." And I just think that they think I'm crazy.
Yes.
So I never ended up going to the GI doctor, but I did end up having a stool test done, actually. And when I had that done, that was a huge indicator for me, which came up in like year 3. But
Okay. So what did you
the,
find in the stool test?
so what happened was I had had a holistic practitioner because, you know, like I said, the dermatologists weren't helping me with my acne. So I went to a holistic practitioner, and she was fantastic in just trying to help me figure out what is causing the acne. So she was doing test after test after test. And so the stool came back that I had H. pylori, and I had a whole host of parasites. And now she called me up at the point where I had found Nicole's page, Healing Breast Implant Illness, right? I
Mm-hmm.
found her website, and I knew what was wrong with me. Immediately
Yeah.
upon finding that, I knew what was wrong with me. But let me go back a minute. So the last dermatologist appointment I had gone to, they had done an allergy test. So they put 80 patches on my back to see what I was allergic to.
Yeah.
And they told me I was allergic to thimerosal, which is like a mercury based product. And they said, you know, you weren't born with this allergy, you've acquired it through overexposure. And I thought, well, how was I overexposed to mercury? So I started doing some research, you know, because every night I did research, right? Like we all do, trying to figure out what's wrong with us. And I stumbled upon, you know, like I tried to look up, what are my breast implants made of? Because something just told me, okay, just maybe look it up, right? So I just looked up, what are my breast implants made out of? And you can't find that information. I couldn't find that information on the internet. And I thought, well, why don't they
Why
want
I'm
me to
not
know that?
surprised? I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I was like, why don't they want me to know that? I don't understand. So I dug a little deeper. Now that was like the middle of December of 2017. And I guess I was 2.5 years with my implants at that point. And by Christmas of that same year, I ended up in the hospital on Christmas Day because I couldn't walk. I woke up that morning, and I had such pain in my hip, and I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand, I couldn't lie down. I've never felt pain like that in my life. So my husband took me to the ER, and the ER, they did x-rays, and they said, this is inconclusive, you need to go for an MRI. So that week I followed up with an orthopedist, and he did an MRI, and he said, you have spontaneous tears all throughout your hip tendons and through your lower back. He's like, are you sure you didn't fall down the stairs? Are you sure you didn't have an accident? And I said, no, I literally woke up like this. And he's like, all right, we'll take some anti-inflammatories. So I took the anti-inflammatories, and within a week, the pain was gone in my hip. I was able to go back to work. I was able to walk and, you know, comfortably move. And do you know what else happened, Carla? The acne went away. And I thought, okay, well, what's happening here? So there must be some sort of an inflammatory response with my acne. And, you know, between that and the mercury allergy and the whole bit, I thought something's not right. And then that's when I stumbled upon Nicole's website, and I thought, oh my God, this is what's wrong with me. You know, everything. It was just crazy how many symptoms I could relate to with these women. And the only way I can explain how I felt at that point was I was totally dead on the inside. I knew that I couldn't live like this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I needed to figure out what was wrong with me. And if they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, I didn't want to live anymore. To be quite honest with you, it was no way to live. It was such a horrible feeling. I would cry to my husband at night and I would say to him, I am being poisoned and I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm dying. And he would say, no, you're not dying. You know, he's trying to make me feel better. And
Yeah,
I just knew, you know, you get to that point where you just know something is really wrong. And so
yeah.
when I found Nicole's website and her Facebook group, it was like this, like I just couldn't be more grateful because I was happy, I was sad, I was relieved. And I
You
knew
were like,
immediately I
I'm
was
not crazy. I'm not crazy.
right.
I'm not the only one who is experiencing this. And that gave you such a relief, I guess.
Yes, absolutely. It gave me such relief just knowing that you're not alone and knowing that you're not crazy. I think all of those things just being validated through like reading all of the posts from the women and saying, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one who thinks this way. I'm not the only one who's feeling the same thing. So it was really just amazing. And the support group was like, it was my home between finding the group in December, might have been the beginning of January when I found it, and when I explanted that April. So I just would spend all my time on the support group, and I did all my research, and you know, just I just went there to feel not so alone. So that was like a priceless, you know, priceless gift for me.
Yeah, yeah, Tara. And honestly, your story is just another story of another woman who has suffered for a long time, thinking to the point, getting to the point in which you think, okay, I just don't want to live anymore like this. I mean, seriously,
Yes.
I mean, you seriously think you don't want to live like that anymore, like a very depressed person. Those
Yes.
type of thoughts that a depressive person will have, and I correlate, and I mean, I can understand you fully because when I was going through my process, I was sent to a psychiatric because they couldn't find anything wrong in my blood, in my MRI. So the psychiatrist just told me, have you ever had any like thoughts of ending your life? So I said,
Right.
no, I haven't had a thought of ending myself, my life, but I had a thought like I don't want to live like this anymore. And the only reason I'm going forward and I'm moving and waking out of my bed like a zombie because, as you said, the same thing. My sleeping pattern was never good, never refreshed. I used to sleep like a rock. And in
Mm-hmm.
2010, around that time, I started having really weird sleeping patterns of arousals that the doctor
Right.
couldn't figure out. 8 sleep studies, and still they couldn't figure it out. They just told me, you
Oh
have
my
a lot of
gosh.
REM sleep. Yeah, you have a lot of REM sleep. Why do I have a lot of REM sleep? We don't know. Maybe you have narcolepsy. And I say, but I don't have cataplexy, like in which your muscles, just. So at this point, they're telling me you're crazy. You are telling you don't want to live, so you need to take antidepressants. You have a problem. You got a divorce, so that's why this is everything is happening because of the emotional stress that you have. And I'm
Right.
like, that doesn't make any sense. I've been treated already for this because they thought that was the issue. And I completely, 100% understand you when you say, I feel so bad that I can't even keep on thinking how much I'm going to fight something that I don't know what I'm fighting against. Until you know what you're fighting against, then it's like, whoo, like you see God. You see
Yes,
God.
absolutely.
It's,
That is so true. It was such a spiritual journey for me because I knew, like you said, you get to your point where, you know, I was telling my husband my wishes for when I was gone. I was trying to teach my girls some things that they would need to know for when I wasn't around anymore. And it was to that point where I was like, okay, this is either cancer or some kind of poison that's something's happening and
yeah.
this is the end for me and I need to prepare for this. And you get to that point and So I had no choice. I got on my knees and I just prayed and I said, you know, God, you need to guide me. You need to help me through this. And he absolutely did. And it was such a faithful journey for me.
Amen.
So I'm just so grateful to God and to all the people who stuck by me and supported me through it all. You know, I mean, I've had a lot of friends. I feel a little sad almost because they've said to me like, oh, I didn't even know you were going through all of this. And you know,
Yeah.
I was so scared, Carla, that I had no idea what was wrong with me, that I didn't really talk about it. I wouldn't even really say anything to my friends or my closest people because I thought, I'm going to sound crazy. I'm really going
Yeah.
to sound crazy saying, you know, I'm dying, but I don't really know why.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I
You
have all
know?
these issues. I have a lot of issues. What do you have? Well, I
Right.
can't sleep. I feel bad. I have acne, and I can't go. I mean, I have diarrhea all the time. I do this
Right.
and I do that, and they're like, "Look, I don't want to hang out with you. You're crazy, dude." So yeah,
Right.
we're going through the worst time of our lives. Sometimes we keep it to ourselves because we don't know how to approach the world. We don't even know
Yeah.
how to approach the freaking doctors. I mean, the freaking doctors, I can tell you a list of doctors I saw in Houston, Texas, one of the biggest cities with the biggest medical centers in the United States. You would have thought one doctor would have told me, hey, have you thought about those things you have inside? Because nobody ever told me. Just at
Right.
the end of my journey, when I start, just like you, when I said, there is always like a peak of the iceberg. There is always an information that God, as you say, is a faith teaching. I see it as like what, not why this happened to me, but what for this happened to me. And definitely, just like you, I think most of all the women who are sharing this journey know that God is teaching you a huge, huge lesson of believing and trusting Him, and He has chosen us to do it this way. And
Mm-hmm.
our soul chose this journey for a reason. We have a purpose with this experience. But when you are in that moment in which you are almost sure and you start suspecting it's your breast implants, then God starts opening up the ways for you to see, to open your eyes, to understand that you are not wrong, that you were never wrong, and that you have to trust first in God, second in yourself, because you
Yes.
start becoming so crazy that you start doubting yourself. And that is something that
Yes.
we can never do. We have to trust our body. When the body speaks, is because something is going on. So as you
And I
say,
think
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that that is so important also for the women who are already explanted and are healing, to remember that they have to trust in God continually and trust their bodies. Because I think that when they begin to heal, you know, immediately a lot of times women will feel better and then they feel worse and then they feel better. And it's such, it messes with your mind, right? Because you're like, I don't want to feel like this again. Oh my God, I'm feeling awful. Maybe this wasn't the answer. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, okay, I'm okay again. So you take 10 steps forward and 5 steps back, and it
Yes.
messes with your head and you start to doubt yourself, like you said. And I think we need to, you know, really just encourage women to just stay the course, because you
Yeah.
have to trust that you did the right thing for your body. You got the poison out. It was the best thing for you, but you have to stay the course, and you have to trust your journey, and you have to trust God, and you have to trust your body, because your body knows what's best. And I get a lot of questions about detoxing and what should I do and what should I take. And honestly, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
The only thing that I do is I eat well.
Yeah.
I'm back to exercising, which is something that makes me feel good. And
Good.
I'm on this continual journey of self-love, because I think that that is a huge purpose for what we've been through, is to get to that point where, you know, we all went through something that got us to the point where we felt we needed implants.
Yeah.
So whether it was low self-esteem, or it was to please someone else in your life, or to fit in, you know, anything like that, right? We all had our reason, even if it was because you had to have a mastectomy. You know, I mean, it's so sad
Yeah.
because, you know, I feel like maybe they don't feel like they have a choice. And, you know, everybody has a choice, right? And they all you know, we all want to feel good in our own skin, but as long as people have, they're able to make an informed choice,
Yeah.
that's the most important thing. But
Yeah.
I feel like when women are healing, it's just so important to remember to trust your body. So I think that you make such a good point there, Carla.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta trust your body. You gotta be patient. Sometimes you're gonna doubt. You're gonna doubt it. And
Right.
for example, so people, I mean, if you think about it, you're putting a foreign object inside your body. Your body does not like things inside you. Your body does not like a virus inside you and start fighting a virus. So if you're sick for a cold with a cold for 5 days, it takes you like 2 weeks for recovery from a cold. So
Right.
if you think about it, if you put a foreign implant in your body and you have it for years, some people have it for years. I had it for 20 years. So you cannot expect your body to recover in 1 month, in 2, in 3, maybe 6 months. I don't know. Each
Right.
body will recover differently. But I assure you something, your immune system has been compromised. And functional medicine, you can talk to a functional medicine doctor, a naturopathic doctor, holistic people will tell you, yeah, I agree with you. A foreign implant is never going to be good for your body. Never. It doesn't
Right.
matter if you even feel well, because as Nicole Neruda said once in one of her posts in the group, she said, oh yeah, so many women say they feel good, but some of them have issues. And the problem is that these issues, because they're small, they don't even
Mm-hmm.
try to link it to a breast implant
Right.
issue. But your
Right.
body is constantly fighting those foreign objects inside you.
Right.
And
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, I think you're absolutely right. And women can, like I was justifying it. I was justifying everything. Oh, it's just this, it's just that. I'm just feeling a little bit older, I'm just getting older. It's, you justify it's my hormones, it's this, it's that. And, there's some, I've heard people say, oh, I have a friend who, has implants, but she's fine.
Yeah,
I think she complains that she's losing her hair, but I mean, that's just, and I'm like,
that's
wait,
something
what?
else. It's the stress. The stress is causing it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe you should probably ask, mention this to her and have her look into it because that's not normal.
Yeah.
So,
That's the problem. We live in a society that we tend not to eat well. We tend not to have a good lifestyle. We tend to have a lot of stress. So it's good to blame anything else because we have the factors to blame, right? We have a lot of
sure.
other things to blame before we can blame our breast implants. I have many stories with many doctors. I mean, tons of doctors, but um, I had mold toxicity. I'm still detoxing from mold toxicity, and what it does, mold toxicity give you a chest vibration that is unexplainable to people. So I will go to talk to people, say I feel my breast, my chest is shaking, is vibrating in a weird way. I can feel it going towards my arms. That's weird.
Huh.
The
Right.
one cardiologist told me that's weird. My OB doctor, who I trust because he brought my daughter into this world, he told me that's anxiety. Well, you
Right.
know what? After doing a lot of research, finally I found a book named Toxic from Neil Nathan, who described all the symptoms of a person who is suffering from mold toxicity. So what happens when our immune system, I want to explain this here in this slide because it's important for people to know. When your immune system is not working well, the first thing that gets compromised is your gut. Why? Because your gut has, like, I would say 80% of your immunity is in your gut. So we are 65% cells that are made out of bacteria cells. 25% is about human cells, like genes, and the rest 9% is about fungal cells. So if your immune system cannot cope with the fact of keeping all this in order, then your gut start going crazy. And that's the first sign. That's why you had all those issues with your number
Right.
two, right? Like, and then it's immediately your gut is related to how you absorb nutrients into your body and your skin. how you detox, and it's gonna go into your skin. And what people don't know, because I never researched what's the best. I mean, what breast implant my doctor is putting me in. I trust him. I don't know what they say silicone, so I'm okay with the answer. Silicone, they say safe. It's nothing bad. But what we don't know is that the silicone implants have about 25 chemicals outside the implant,
Right.
and the capsule starts like sucking into the implant, like I can't find the name in English, but in Spanish says like aguamala, you know, like these things in the water, like they move like this, the gels. Oh my god, I forgot the name. Anyway, this soaking the implant, and it's like licking it, and that is touching your body. It's connected to your body, but it's not your body. So the mercury toxicity that you had is a direct relation to the breast implants inside you. So
Right. Absolutely.
what brand of breast implants do you have?
So I had a brand called Sientra.
Sientra. Okay.
And I had, they were, I guess, 370 cc's, and they were textured cohesive gels. So they were, you know, the safe gummy bear ones. They gave them a cute name to make them seem so innocent and sweet.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It wasn't even the ones with the problems, Mentor, right?
Right.
Weren't even those with the problems. I had a brand, there was a German brand, CMH is the brand, CMH.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I hadn't
like,
heard of them.
What that? Not even my surgeon. He was like, "Oh, what type of implant is that?" So, again,
one of the girls said jellyfish. Was jellyfish what you were thinking of?
Yeah, jellyfish. Thank you, ladies. I'm glad you're here for us, because another thing that happens, and this is true, with multiple and breast implant illness is the brain fog. It's real. I mean, I could be talking to you about something and then I lost it. I'm like, oh my god, what I was gonna say? I was gonna say something, and you know, I took it the fun way, like, oh, I'm just getting old, but it's not.
Right.
Once you see a functional medicine doctor or a doctor that has a little bit more of knowledge and studies in this country, because I'm gonna tell you something, there are a lot of good doctors out there, but I know more than them. I assure you, I know more than them. And once you see a functional medicine doctor, they will tell you, the first thing they will tell you to measure your improvements with your detoxing, which is where I'm going through right now, a very heavy detox protocol, not only what I eat, what I do, how I live, what I breathe, what I'm able to drink. It's like, how's your brain fog? How is your brain fog? It's normally one of the things that takes longer to recover, because your neural pathways, your nerves get affected, because the inflammation inside your body is there. Sometimes it's not even showing your platelets, but for some people it takes a long time to get to that biotoxicity in order for the inflammation to show in high platelets. I had a marker, which is the MMP9 marker, and I will continuously mention this. When my functional medicine doctor here in Houston saw my MMP9 marker, he went into shocking mode. He's like, what? He treats people with mold toxicity, with mercury toxicity, heavy metals, and he had never seen a person with that marker that high. That's when he said, we're not going to wait for you to see my mold toxicity specialist and detoxing specialist. We're going to start today.
Right.
And what that did is that it caused me asthma, a type of asthma in which I would feel the lack of breath, but it took 8 years, progressively, my body getting worse, not breathing well. It's slowly that I didn't notice that I wasn't breathing well until I started having heart palpitations. But your body is smart. My body with the heart palpitations was telling me I can't breathe. And my brain is like, why I feel like that? I had to shower sitting in my bathtub and scratch my hair like this, crying every morning because I had to go to work and wake up. And it was so much for me to just wake up, getting ready, get my daughter ready, take her to school. It was like I had a huge rock on top of me. So
Right. Yeah, you can't even catch it. You can't catch your breath. You can't take a deep breath, right?
yeah, it was
Hmm.
tough. It was very tough. And the healing process, ladies, I want to tell you something. It's tough, but it's not as tough as being sick, because you know you're healing and you know you're gonna get there. I mean, you gotta trust your body. You gotta trust a good doctor, good functional medicine doctor who can guide you through this. What was your
That's right.
biggest fear, Sarah, when you said, I'm going to take my breast implants out? What was your biggest fear? What was your first barrier in doing this? Like when we talk about cosmetics and when we talk about beauty and when we talk about having this beautiful breast and going from a size maybe 34C to, I don't know what your size is right now, but maybe it's a cup A or a cup B or I don't know. So
It'd be
what
less
were
than an A. Whatever's less than an A.
Well, if you're less than an A, I'm less than an A.
But honestly, my biggest fear was I would say my biggest fear was at the time dying during surgery.
Okay.
I felt like it was, and I hear women ask this question a lot on the support groups, and I've been asked, privately as well. I'm afraid that I'm not going to make it through surgery because,
Yeah.
at that point you feel so sick and you just don't even know how you're going to survive. So that was my biggest fear. And what I did to get over that was I actually reached out to my pastor at my church, and he spoke with me a week before the surgery and a couple days, leading up to the surgery. And, we prayed together and we talked about it and we discussed the fact that, going into surgery, I wouldn't be alone. Coming out of the surgery, I wouldn't be alone. And that no matter what, I just wasn't alone.
Yeah.
And it just gave me such a sense of comfort knowing that, no matter what, I wasn't alone. No matter what, my family wasn't going to be alone. And so I thought, whatever's meant to happen will happen.
Yeah.
And I just kind of put it in God's hands. And so I just felt this sense of calm. I mean, my surgeon had prescribed me like anti-anxiety meds for the morning of, and I didn't even need to take them. I got up the morning of my surgery and I was so calm, and my husband and I drove to the surgery center. It was like an hour and a half away, and it was I just had this sense of peace. I knew I was
Yeah.
doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And I knew that everything was going to be, no matter what, everything was going to be okay, whatever the outcome was. So
Yeah.
that was my biggest fear. I never feared what I was going to look like as far as my breasts were concerned after
Okay.
surgery. That wasn't something that I knew immediately when I figured out what was wrong with me, that I was going to take them out, and I didn't care what I looked like. I was going to love
Okay.
myself no matter what, because I
Okay.
just wanted my health back. I think a
That's
lot of
right.
times when you lose your health, that's it. You're like,
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, health is
But
everything,
that's
right? They say
I
without
think that's
that.
how God worked through us. God knows that the only reason a woman will go through that path, and it was my case, is like when you are just on the floor, like below ground.
Right.
When you are like, man,
Right.
I can't handle this anymore. This is not life. So I'm surprised that you said that was the last thing you thought about it, which makes sense. Once you feel so bad, that's the last thing you care about.
Right.
Even though
Right.
you're scared because you have seen so many women sharing their stories, and we all know when you first explant and you don't put other implants, or you put like body fat, you're gonna see a process in which your breast is gonna try to stick together. So you gotta give your body a chance to. But that is very, very, very amazing and inspiring for so many women to know that the beauty is not, I mean, you don't want to get to the point in which you are so sick that that's what happens. It's like you're just so sick that you don't care anymore about anything else. Before I
Right.
proceed, I wanna say thank you to everybody who is connected.
Yeah,
I want to say
absolutely.
thank you to the people who are refreshing me what awamala in English is, which is a jellyfish. Thank you, Nelly. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's here. I know there are many women who have questions, and Nelly says she can't wait to remove her implants. And I want you to know, Nelly, that we're here for you, that we're here to support you, that there is a group of 70,000 women on Facebook of Breast Implants is Illness by Nicole Neruda, which is what first connected me to that, and Tara to that group. And now Tara and me are connected, and we are bringing awareness to the world about what happened to us, because so many people, so many women might have been going on through this. When I was going through this issue 3 years ago, I researched, I didn't find anything. I researched, it was very vague what I would find on the internet. And my mom told me early this year, why don't you just Google? You Google everything. Why you haven't Googled women with issues with breast implants, symptoms? And then I'm like, oh my God, that's so true. Why I haven't done that? Boom, 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 boom. There you go. So I was like, woo! When I got into the group, I was like, I can't even believe it. And it still took me like a month to decide. And I would post questions like, okay, I've been having my implants for 20 years, and 10 years ago I started feeling bad. So you guys think it has, you know, some relation? I have like 30 symptoms similar to everybody. Do you think I might have breast implant illness? I was just still like, like arguing with me, like, oh no, this still cannot be. But you know what? Since the very beginning, your intuition is going to tell you that is your breast implants. It happened to me 8 years ago. I suspected, and I said, no, there's no way I'm taking them out. There's no way I'm staying flat. I mean, in my brain, my Venezuelan beauty brain, because that's what it is. And I'm glad I'm in this country in such a way, because I love my country. I love my people. We have had to, I mean, most of us are aware, we have had to leave beautiful country, beautiful people, because we have a idiot in there. But anyway, that's not the point here. I don't want to get out of topic. Again, my brain fog is going somewhere else. But we have the most beautiful women winning Miss Universe. So Venezuelan people grow in a culture of beauty. So for us, I don't criticize this. We all want to be beauty. Women have to take care of themselves, and that's part of life, and that's part of being a woman and being feminine. But the thought of taking out your breast implants can be very scary. But I will tell you something. It's more scary to not have health, having 3 kids like you did, or you do, and I do, I have one, and thinking, I can live my life well. I cannot have a quality time with my daughters, or with my daughters, or with my family, because I'm sick. So that's the worst part in there. In thinking always, like, you know, when you first put the breast implants, it was beauty inspired. It was like, I want to feel better. I want to be, you know, I want to have huge boobies, and I want to put it there. Every time I had to change my breast implants 3 times, and every time I was asking for a bigger size. Thank God the doctor says, you cannot go in a bigger size. You don't have space. You're too little. And I'm like fighting them. No, I want bigger. Thank God. Thank God, because the bigger you go, the more damage it does in your tissue. And this is something women don't know. Your breast implants erodes your breast tissue to the point that the longer that you have it, the less breast tissue you're going to have. And it happened to me. I have it for 20 years, so I look like an 8-year-old. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it. I think more people are worried about it than me about it, you know? Because once you take out the stone out of you, you are like, whew, I'm on the path to healing. I'm healing. Thank you, God. I'm alive, and I'm going to be able to recover from this, because we all can. Our body is made to heal. And as we get sick because there is something out of balance. And when we go back to that balance, we're thankful. So absolutely. So I really admire what you did on taking them out. You only had 3 years with your breast implants. I waited almost 9 years sick. But I wasn't sure. I wanted proof. I wanted a proof in my blood somewhere. Give me proof, God. And finally, God give you the proof when you are ready. When you're ready to receive the answer from heaven, because this is how I see it, then the window will open, and you shall see.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's why, you know, a lot of times we say just plant the seeds. if somebody's not ready to hear this information, at least you planted the seed,
Correct.
and they know, you know, when they're ready to receive that information, then they say, okay, you know what, so and so was right when she said that this was possible, that this could happen, and I need to
Yeah.
get my implants out. Now, a couple of things. I was shocked when we spoke the other day and you told me that in Venezuela, a lot of young ladies at 16
Yeah.
get implants. Now,
Yeah.
my daughter, I have two daughters, and they are both watching right now. And
Okay.
I have a
Hi.
13, my girls, Maddie and Lexi. Um, I have 13-year-old. I can't imagine in 3 short years her getting breast implants. Like, but it's the culture, right? This is how you, this
No,
is the
and
norm for you
in this
guys.
country, is breast implants are being given at, I think, at 16 or 17 years old, as a gift from the parents to the kids. And you know why I
Wow.
know people put implants at 16 years old? Because I put them at 16 years old. That's why I know. It's a fact. I'm
Right.
not lying. And
Right.
do I feel proud about it? No. Do I feel bad about it? No. Why? Because I
Mm.
wasn't informed, I wasn't conscious, I wasn't mindful, I was immature, and I didn't have the knowledge. And my parents didn't
Absolutely.
know either. My parents
Right.
always did. They always pleased me. They always wanted. Oh, she wants to be happy. Oh, well, you know. And you know what? We didn't know. None of us knew.
Right.
There was no
Right. And that's why we're
internet.
doing, that's why we're doing what we're doing,
Yes,
because I would never judge if someone chose to get implants
correct,
anyway. But I just want women to be informed. You know,
correct.
that's, we deserve that, to be informed, to know what the ingredients are, what the risks are. As long as people know, if they still choose to do it, then that's on them.
Yes.
But the fact that we're not informed, it's just a crime.
We're
So,
not
you know, it's
informed,
really,
and I don't think we are going to be informed, Tara, because this is a money making market. And
yeah,
even though so many doctors are taking the lead on explanting and on really realizing what's going on, accepting it, acknowledging what's going on. Look, in 2013, I have it on my bio on Instagram for you guys to check if you want. There was a study done of some women here in Houston by, I think, the University of Texas, in which they grab a group of women with breast implants and they related the data and the study with some women like a few years before. The same study was done, I think it was in Switzerland and in Europe. And they
mm-hmm.
compared the two studies to see the symptoms. The symptoms are in the breast implant illness list of symptoms. Everybody had the symptoms. When they removed the breast implants, 50% of the women improved. Other 50% didn't improve. They have a huge like document about it, why they didn't improve, maybe diet, maybe genetics, how the body to, but some of them did improve. So my point with this is there is data. Doctors know, the manufacturers know who is a good patient for breast implant and who is not a good patient for breast implant. If you have
Right.
a certain type of genes or predisposition for autoimmune disorders, you are not a good patient for breast implants because it's gonna trigger whatever
Right.
you're
You're
predisposed.
predisposed.
Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna trigger your immune system to get whatever you are supposed to get. Doesn't matter
Yes.
how healthy you eat. I ate as healthy as I could. I became a health coach and a certified plant-based nutritionist just for the matter of thinking that I was eating something wrong, and that was causing all my issues because I said, and still I'm thankful I ate healthy because if you don't eat healthy, it's worse. It's worse. You have gut issues.
Right.
It's gonna get worse. It's gonna be just like a huge way down the road. And I have
Right.
Maglis here. She's connected and she's telling us we are surrounded of toxicity. It's impossible to escape of that nowadays. And that is true. That is true. We are surrounded of toxicity. But if you have toxicity inside you, it's going to make it worse. So
Yes.
we want to
Absolutely.
make sure that, I mean, I want to make sure I live my life now in as toxic free as possible. So I have not only looked into my breast implants, I removed my IUD, was a copper IUD, which was,
Oh wow.
it's not good. It's not good to have
Right.
copper inside you. So,
Right.
which I put my copper IUD when I got married, never took it out. So my breast implant issues has been since 10 years ago. My copper IUD has been there like for 3 years. So it's not, maybe it might have made things worse in the detoxic part. But you have to look at your makeup, at what you're cleaning your house with. What are you putting in your eyes? What mosquito repellent are you using for your kids? I mean, there is a huge
Yes.
thing going on, and I want to recommend everybody to go into a website. And I love this doctor, and his name is Petram, and he has developed the series of interconnected series. You can Google it, and he has a lot of beautiful newsletters about what's going on in the functional medicine field, and how worrying is that the medical field has not accepted that we have a huge pandemic going on about toxicity of all type in food, in implants, in the environment, in the products we use. So we have to be careful and mindful about all this. It's not only what you have inside, it's what you have outside. So
Absolutely.
I want to say something really quick before we finish, Tara. First, I want to acknowledge the hard work that Tara has been doing in order to bring people to this reality, and to share her experience with others, and to bring awareness, because that's all we want to do with this life. We don't want to make money. We don't want to, no. We're not making money out of any of this. Tara wrote this book, which I love, the image. I mean, this is just the best description of a woman with breast implants and what we will feel. This is what would you say. At the end, we all say, get this out of me right now. And I love the caption, and her book is on Amazon, Tara, right?
Yep. It's on Amazon. It's on paperback, Kindle, and Audible.
Okay. So I really want you guys, if you're considering to have breast implants, if you're considering to remove your breast implants, to do your own research. Don't take anything that we say here as a truth. That's what I'm saying. Because we all have to find our own truth, our own facts, our own experiences. But I also suggest you something. If you don't feel good, don't let it progress to a point in which you cannot handle your life anymore. You have to miss work. You have to miss your life. You have to miss family. And that's when you start saying, pass, my life is going, and I think I'm going. I think I'm dying in silence. So don't die in silence. Do your research. Don't take whatever people tell you. You have to be your own creator of your own healing, of your own decisions and reality. We're here to help you, to share with you our stories. And that this is why Tara wrote this book. And I really, really, really think you should read it, because when you experience from the heart of another person, is when you can truly feel and relate to others. So have empathy to others and compassion to what other people are going through. So Tara, like one last thought you want to say here for all those women, all those teenagers that want to get breast implants. I mean, what do you want to tell them?
Read my book. No.
First of all, read my book, then we talk about it.
Yeah, no, I just I just had a really great lady who she goes to our church, and you know, she emailed me, or she messaged me on Facebook today or yesterday, and she said, you know, I'm in the middle of reading your book, and so far it's wonderful. And she said, but more importantly, my daughter read your book, and she's a young teen, and she said, and she's really struggling, you know, with some of her self-esteem issues, and she said it really resonated with her. And to me, that means so much, because you know, the last 2 chapters of my book, I talk about the whole self-love aspect of just getting to that point where we have to be happy and satisfied with the way God created us, and we have to find the beauty, you know, like my outward beauty doesn't define me. You know, my beauty is defined by who I am as a person and what I bring to the table and the loyalties that I have. You know, all of those things are what makes me me. So, you know, and I know Nicole always says, you know, you're not defined by one body part, you know, and it's so true. And so I would just end, and I just want everybody to know that you're beautiful just as you are. And you don't need breast implants to make you feel whole and complete, whether or not it's for reconstruction or an enhancement. You know, you just don't need that. And once your health is taken from you, you can never fully get that back. So, you know, those of us who are breast implant illness survivors, and I love that you say that because I say that too, you know, we're changed forever. This
Forever.
experience has completely changed our lives forever. And the reason why we do these lives, and the reason why I wrote my book, and the reason why all these other women are advocating is because we don't want you to make those same mistakes.
Correct.
We want you to learn from our mistakes so that you don't have to live through this. So I hope that, you know, we reach as many people as possible. Carla, I think you're amazing. You just explanted yourself not that long ago. And the fact that you're already advocating like this says a whole lot about who you are. And so, you know, I thank you for doing what you're doing. And, you know, I look forward to advocating beside you. And, you know, these bonds that we have formed with women who have struggled just as we have. This has been the silver lining through all of the suffering that we've gone through, because I have formed bonds with people that I never imagined I would. And I don't know how I could live without now. So.
Thank you so much. And better say it, impossible, Tara. This is just, it's a mission. It's a life mission. And I know all of us together, we're going to make changes in this world. Little by
Yes,
little, planting the seeds, telling people what happened to us. Some people are just going to
absolutely.
laugh. Some women are going to say, I don't care. I mean, it is what it is. And we have to respect their journeys. But
Right.
we can change the world. We can change things. We can change how the medical system is working by raising our voice, by doing these type of
Absolutely.
things. And what you have done on writing a book, I admire you fully, not only by explanting, because just explanting, I admire every single woman who have gone through this, because we know how tough this is. Not as tough as losing your health, right? But writing a book takes time and dedication. And I mean, seriously, get Tara's book is awesome. I started reading it, and when I read a part about your son, and that something happened with the health of one of your loved ones, and then you were like, okay, I need to come clean with me, right? So please buy her book, support our cause, share our story with people you know. You never know who you're going to touch. You never know who you're going to help. And breast implant illness has many symptoms. People always ask me, but I'm going to read them really quick before we finish this conversation. So, and I'm reading this because my friend Tara sent me these beautiful cards, which I love, and I'm passing through people I know. I love them. And we have fatigue. The worst thing that you're going to have, I mean, to me, was like a person who is active, who used to teach Zumba and have an active life. One day I was just in the couch. And at this point, as of today, I can still not work out because my body can't handle it yet. So fatigue, chronic pain, brain fog, cognitive dysfunction, muscle pain, weaknesses, joint pain, hair loss, vision problems, acid reflux, GERD, headaches and migraines, digestive issues, anxiety, ear ringing. I have ear ringing, still have it. My mom has it. My mom has breast implants too. Anxiety, food intolerance. We all have food intolerance because our gut is compromised. So we're not going to be able to tolerate foods that other people would, which is a shame, you know, because I'm dying to have a pizza and I can't.
I know.
So, skin rashes, inflammation, fevers, night sweats. I used to have a lot of night sweats and I didn't know where they're coming from. Numbness and tingling limbs. I want to add candida infections, yeast infections, vaginal infections, which come from the same candida overgrowth in your gut, mold toxicity, And you know what? Tons of other things like neuropathy, cold intolerance. I was super cold intolerant, and blood pressure disturbances. I suffer from low blood pressure. My blood pressure was in the 50s. So
Wow.
there were a lot of things in a ball that doctors couldn't figure out. And they will
Mm-hmm.
tell you, oh, but this is too broad. I don't have breast implants and I have headaches. For those of you who connected to our live video, thank you so much for being there. We spoke so much that we couldn't even say bye-bye, but thank you, Tara Hopko. Thank you for your time and all the information, and I'm sure so many people are going to get a lot of good insights about what breast implant illness is, and we're going to keep on doing this awareness campaign, so stay connected. We'll let you know when is the next one. Thank you. See you next time.